Hey girl, hey! Sarah and Lexie, so sexy.
That's great.
What was something else you said? You know what I'm talking about? It's okay if you don't.
That's like so delusional.
I could probably just do this all day.
Oh my god, I love this.
Girl. Bye!
Becky's butt.
Hey girlies, welcome to Talk Girlietome, the podcast for the girls who overshare, overthink, and overachieve. We're your hosts, Sarah and Lexie. We're diving into anything from creativity to wellness to work and everything in between. Let's get into it.
Okay, so today we will be talking about confidence and how important it is to be confident with yourself, so that way it can spread out beyond you into your business and everything else you do in life. For me, what it means to have confidence within my business is to know that what you're creating or what you're working on is going to do well, or to have the confidence to push that out and have that be I don't know what the word is, to just have the confidence for your own artwork and your own whatever your creation is, because I guess like you'd put Lexie and I under just like the umbrella of being creators. So that way, when you go to try and sell it or find listeners, you know, because if you're selling it in a confident way, then it's going to make other people be more curious about it and want to, you know, give Lexie's new song a listen, or maybe, you know, take a look at one of my designs or something. If I talk about it in a very confident way, I think, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know why my brain just went and thought about like comedians. If you think about when a comedian is on stage, like you would not listen to a comedian if they didn't sound confident. If they were like, oh yeah, like I have this joke about a guy that went to a store. Like you're not going to listen to that.
Oh yeah, it's painful. I've been to some like comedy open mic nights, and there are a few people that just don't have that confidence on stage yet, and it's agonizing to listen to. It's not funny and nothing lands. There's no comedic timing. So that is a great example.
So I think that relates to any creator, because I consider comedians as creators of jokes, you know?
Yeah.
So in anything, you have to be conveying that in a confident way so that you could sell it. And then also,
if you don't believe in yourself, who will?
Yeah. Yes. And I feel like there was something, actually, no, I think there was something else we talked about. So Lexie and I we're trying to remember what we had talked about a couple weeks ago when we wrote down this topic of confidence. I mean, I can think of multiple ways where it's important, but there was something I feel like more specific that we mentioned. I think as we talk about it, we'll remember. But anyway, Lexie had mentioned that this relates to imposter syndrome. I don't know. Yeah. Why don't you like take us through that?
Well, how about this? Why don't we both... So you just talked about what confidence means to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to approach it the same way and just talk about what confidence means to me.
Oh, okay.
I can definitely get to the imposter syndrome part too and how that kind of ties in sometimes. But when I think about confidence, honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is delusion. Because most of my confidence starts from literally faking it till I make it. And I used to hate that phrase. It is so cliche, but the thing about cliches is there's always a little bit of truth in them, and they do come from somewhere. So faking it till you make it kind of became my life's motto. Because, you know, as a younger kid, I was a little shy, I was quiet, and I did not have a lot of self-esteem. I did not have a lot of confidence. So in order to get myself out there and to get over my anxieties, I literally just had to block it all out and pretend to embody this persona that was not me, did not feel like me, but I wanted it to be me. And eventually it did become me because I practiced it so often. And that sounds a little crazy saying it back. It makes it sound like I have multiple personalities, but that's not what I mean. Because it really is like a practice. It's just like anything else. It's kind of like a muscle that you have to exercise. And over time, it'll become easier. It'll become more fluid, more natural, and authentic. And eventually, it will become a part of you.
Can I just add something? Or
Yeah,
do you?
please.
Okay. Sorry. I just thought of something. I think when we were talking about it, I remember what place I was in. It was like when I was working on Anna's design. And now I kind of remember. So I think when you're confident in your own work, you have to like also trust yourself, because where does confidence come from? I think it comes from building trust with yourself. So when you're trusting that you're going to commit to something. So like Lexie and I are fucking just gym bros. You go like promising yourself that you're going to go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's what I do. And when I do that, when I really do go and work out, that helps me build confidence, because it's building my discipline muscle in my brain. And then I'm like, okay, I can trust myself, because when I told myself that I was going to do this, I committed to it and I did it. So that goes when you're creating. Say if you have a client and you really feel strongly about choosing a creative lane, you should trust yourself on like knowing that that is going to execute the best way. Because sometimes, actually, I would argue like 99% of the time, you're going to have a better vision than your client. You know, if you're more like educated in the topic, whether it's music or fashion, like you're going to have more experience with it. So you have to be like aware that, okay, like I really need to push this idea, because I know that this is going to execute the way that my client wants, even if my client is, it's such a balance. It is really hard, because you have to also still like be taking in consideration what your client wants, but then you also have to be like, okay, this is what's going to execute the best and convey what they're looking for, because sometimes you're going to be able to envision it better than they are, just because you have more experience with, you know, envisioning your creation, because you've done it on so many times. If you're creating a song, like you have a song in your head and I don't know, I'm just talking about this as if like, you know, it relates with fashion. Like I have an outfit in my head or a design or whatever, and then I execute it. Like doing that in repetition, you get used to it, and then you're able to have you're able to like envision your vision better. I don't know. So I hope that made sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. I just didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I really like how you tied it into real life examples and how you, how it is applied to your life and how it shows up in your life. And I do second that. I agree with you that trusting yourself is a huge part of your confidence, and, you know, sticking to goals that you set for yourself. So you're not disappointing yourself, you're showing up for yourself, and you're following through with things. And that absolutely builds confidence. And while you were talking about that, it didn't make me realize, because I already knew this, but it was just like a good reminder that confidence can come through so many different avenues. It can come from, you know, practicing it and believing it, but it can also come from, you know, learning new skills. It can come from trusting yourself and being disciplined and, you know, following through with things like you were just talking about. And then it also reminded me of a podcast I listened to. I listened to a podcast episode by Mel Robbins, and she was talking about how to build real confidence. And one of the points she brought up was you just have to try. Just try things. And you have to fail too. You have to get it wrong. And you have to learn from your mistakes, and that will build confidence too. Failing will help you build confidence, because if you learn how to navigate messing stuff up trying again and then succeeding, you're going to build your confidence over time that way too. So you don't have to get it right every time, which is reassuring because it's like, oh, I don't have to get this perfect. You just, as long as you show up, as long as you try, then you're okay.
Yeah. I think you have to go through a period where you are just trying and failing, because eventually after so many failures, it'll get to be like less and less failures. And then like, you'll be like, oh, this is working. Okay. This is successful. And then you make note of it. And then you move on to the next, subject. It's like, because once you nail down whatever that subject was, you go to the next one, fail, figure it out. And what is it? FOAF. I don't know. It's like fuck around and find out.
Yeah, no, basically. And like, yeah, it's scary. But that's a huge part of it too. Like you have to do stuff that scares you. You have to get out of that comfort zone. And, if you stay in your comfort zone and you're just like safe all the time, then, everybody talks about this. Like you're not going to grow. You're not going to learn anything. You're going to be stuck. You're going to be stagnant. And then that definitely affects like self-worth and self-esteem. And I think that definitely ties into self-confidence. And I know I mentioned earlier that I'm going to loop this back around into imposter syndrome and how that kind of ties in with that in some way. So I think there is some crossover. So for me personally, it's weird because I have this delusional side of myself that tells me I can do anything I set my mind to and nobody can get in my way. And then I have this other side of myself that's like, oh, you're not really who everybody thinks you are. You've somehow fooled everybody into thinking you're capable and you're really not. And that's not true because clearly I am capable because I'm pulling all this off. But it's like those two sides of me are constantly kind of in conflict and like working against each other. But then at the same time, they're kind of working together in this weird way where I'm pushing through that feeling of imposter syndrome. And then I prove to myself that, oh, wait a second. I do know things. I do have this skill. I am capable. And then that builds my confidence.
Yes, exactly. And
also, I found what inspired this. I was going through our texts and we were talking about how, well, you're currently blonde. You dye your hair blonde. I used to dye my hair blonde. I used to be a blonde. And we were talking about, like our blonde, like my blonde phase, I felt so cute, so sexy, so like I loved being a blonde. There was just something about it. The only reason I'm not a blonde anymore is because it got too expensive. It was way too much maintenance. Coming from a brunette, my hair is just too dark to keep that up all the time. So I just let it grow out. But we were talking about how the way you look, and if you look good in your own eyes, then you feel good. Like you feel better in your own body, and it really ties into your self-confidence.
Oh, yes. So I had just gotten my hair done that week. That's right. And I saw you.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And I was like, I just feel like myself again. And you were like, that's really funny because you're not a natural blonde. And I'm like, I know. But I feel good as a blonde. And yeah, when you're happy with how you look in the mirror, it just like will come out in other areas in your life in the form of confidence.
It really does. I used to think that, when I dressed myself up and I looked good and I went out in public, I used to think people were shallow because I was like, people only treat me well, or they treat me better when I look cute, or when I have my hair done, or when I have my makeup on. But then I started to realize I was the one who was acting different. I was acting different when I looked good because I felt good. And that caused me to act differently, which then caused people and still causes people to treat me differently. Mm-hmm. So that's how it translates to the real world for me too.
Wow, you know what? I think that's very true because so like for example, like I used to wear more makeup and I like never wear makeup now. And I used to think the same thing, but now that I realize like you would think like, oh, in my head, maybe I would think now that I don't wear makeup, I'm going to be treated differently. But like, because I don't really care about makeup anymore, I don't feel like I'm treated differently at all. Like, I don't even think people notice that I'm not wearing makeup, to be honest.
I didn't know for the longest time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
When you told me you don't wear like foundation or concealer, I almost didn't believe you. I was like, there's no way her complexion's that good.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
sick.
you have like this natural like tan, like olive skin. So that really plays in your favor. So you're very lucky. But
wow.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's how you feel. And then that translates to how you act. And then that translates to how people treat you.
Maybe I'm speaking from like a pretty privileged standpoint. I'm like, fuck. Oh, I sound like an ignorant fuck. No,
who knows? Who really knows? I think we've talked about that before too, where it's like, at the end of the day, we really have no idea what's going on in the minds of others.
Yeah.
All we can really control is ourselves. And that's all we really have to worry about.
That's all. That's it. It's really simple. Just worry.
It really is. As long as we don't overthink it and complicate things, it really is pretty simple.
Yeah, and that could be really hard. Uh-oh. I think your mic just went out.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, there we go. You're back.
Did anything I say like cut out?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, what part of it?
After you were like, I don't know, you were like, yeah.
Okay. So nothing I said.
No.
Oh, okay, good. A really loud car went by. Maybe that's why.
Oh, I can hear. Actually, yeah, I can hear that car that just went by. It's okay. Honestly, this probably isn't a good example, but I was listening to someone else's podcast, Becca Moore for the Girls or whatever, and you could hear all types of shit in the background of her podcast, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. And I don't know, it didn't really bother me when I was listening.
Yeah, it's fine. Every now and then we got to remind people that we're real life humans that live in a real life world, and there's stuff going on. There's going to be loud cars. It's the weekend. People are excited. There's loud cars going by. It's fine.
But you know what? Someday we're going to have our own studio that's going to be soundproof, and it's going to be like a studio that's all nicely interior designed, and we'll meet there once a week and just to talk, and then we'll like hire an editor to edit it and post it for us, and it'll be great, and we'll be rich.
Amen.
Amen. Anyway.
So, that's really all I have to say about confidence. That's really what it boils down to for me.
I know. How long has it been? Oh, 20 minutes. It says 20 minutes. It would probably come out to around like 17, 18 minutes.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Especially considering we have a lot of like hour-long episodes. But I'm also not rushing us. If we want to talk about something else, I'm chilling. But we don't have to force it.
I know. Wait, there was something I just had in mind. Hold on. I don't even know. I don't know if I'd put this in it because I'm not sure how much of a conversation this will be, but I feel like in the phase that I'm at right now with my business, I'm just learning more about like, and I don't know, I might have said this already, but just how important it is to take your time once you know like what you want to do. I think when you're starting out, you should obviously like just do it, just start. Like you have to just start, even if like you don't know what you're doing, like just do something. Because
I'm a strong proponent for that.
Yeah, because I think it helps you like figure out where you want to go and like where like how you want to tailor your own style, or because serendipity, I was trying so many different random things and I was kind of like all over the place. I was doing 6 different things. Like I was doing alterations, closet cleaning, custom designing, upcycling, selling secondhand. Like I was just all over the place. And when I was designing multiple random things between like denim and evening wear and I don't know, like sweatshirts and
fuck around and find out, right?
Yeah, it was just a whole lot of fuck around and find out. And it's just funny because like when I think about it, like I really was just fucking around and finding out in front of a lot of people. Because I could only imagine, like if I was like looking at serendipity from an outside perspective, I'd be like, what is this?
What even is this brand?
Yeah, like what am I looking at? Because like it just did not have any like type of styled consistency really. Like I kind of was trying, but I also I would like come up with an idea and I'd be like, I'm just gonna do it. And I would do it, and then it didn't always execute well, but like it was just me like trying something out kind of. But now that I feel I've like grown out of serendipity, because now I just feel like I have more direction of what I want to do, what I want in my brand, and like what I want to sell exactly. And it's funny because I've kind of always been passionate about athletic wear. Like when I was in college, I did a cyberpunk collection on athletic wear. And now I guess I'm kind of going back to my roots a little bit, because now I'm like, I'm working towards starting an athletic wear brand. And I am really taking my time to write out a business plan, a business model, and also like a strategy. So I want to really focus on networking and building my personal social media presence right now. So like I've been going to a lot of fashion shows and networking that way. And I've also been recording content and photos. I was posting for a second there. I posted like 3 reels of like get ready with me for the gym.
I noticed. I was like, oh yeah, you're coming out of the woodwork.
I was, and then I stopped because I was like, you know what? And I think it's okay for me to stop because I have like I have like 1,000 followers, which in the grand scheme of things is like nothing. So I'm like, no one's gonna really care if I start or stop or whatever. Mm-hmm. So now I've stopped because now I'm just collecting content because I want everything to be edited and ready to go 3 months in advance. So I'm going to be like planning my posts. So I'll probably start posting by like early December. So that way I'll be 3 months in advance and I will be guaranteed to be posting consistently for 3 months because it'll be planned out. And in the meantime, I'll be recording content and making sure like I'm always 3 months in advance. And, that way if something comes up in life, because, shit happens, it won't be a big deal. I'll be ahead of time. So because when it comes to social media, like I feel like it's just so important to be consistent and to be posting a lot. And I kind of did the math. Like this is how deep I've been going in with strategy. You have to post, I think, something like 100 reels consistently in order to like really start being seen by, Instagram. So I did the math and I was like, okay, if I post 3 reels a week, and there's 52 weeks in a year. What is that? It's like 3. I kind of did it roughly in my head. I was like 3 times 52 is going to be like 160 or whatever. So that tells me that, in a little, like 8 months from now or from when I start posting, I should be starting to get more traction. So it's like just being really like diabolical with it. And also the whole reason why I'm working on my personal Instagram is going to be geared towards athletic wear. So I will be styling outfits for the gym according to my sneakers. I am fortunate enough to have a boyfriend that is he's actually very supportive, and he's been helping me a lot with this. And he buys me a lot of sneakers and I love it. I've learned to love it. And now I've just been like styling my outfits to them. And he has an eye for styling too, which is really fun because him and I can kind of just like style together. And then, yeah. And I'm lucky enough where I have a friend who's a videographer and a photographer. So I want to like meet up with him once a month to just create some quality content to release every month. So by the time people are listening to this podcast, hopefully I will be in a better place with social media, because I'm really going to go all in.
Well, let this serve as something to hold you accountable.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I know I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love a good full circle moment. I love that you're, like you said, you're coming back to your roots. You tried all these different things. You experimented, you explored, you were able to narrow down. You're like, you know what? This is what I really like. This is what I really care about. And you're able to recognize that by trying out other things. And that's what you got to do. You just got to, it's trial and error. You just try stuff out and see what sticks.
Thank you. Yeah. So I feel like relieved that I finally have a real true direction now, because I did feel like lost for a while there and very like not sure where I was going, because it was kind of like I didn't have any real goal when I was doing serendipity. It was kind of like I just wanted to have a successful business in the fashion industry. It was pretty broad. So now it's a little more, the goals I have are more specific, and I have multiple goals for like different like levels. So now I have like my personal social media goal, and then like, okay, after that, my first design release goal, and like how many people I'll sell that design to goal. And then like really down the line, my absolute dream would be to sell my designs to luxury department stores. So like Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom. So, I don't know if you know the brand Aloe. Like I want to be like that level.
Okay. I'm personally not familiar, but I'm sure some of our listeners know who that is.
Lexie. No, I'm just kidding.
Hang on. Let me Google.
So it's ALO.
Okay.
And a lot of the celebrities wear
yoga?
it. Yeah, it's more of a yoga wear brand, but they're very luxury. Or maybe Lululemon is probably a better example, but I almost feel like Lululemon over time has become more mainstream than like luxury exclusive, if that makes sense.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get the vibe. That's cool.
So that's the vibe. Yeah, I've been just like creating mood boards, trying to figure out like, okay, what are the colors I'm going to stick to for my business? What style am I going to stick to? Like I want consistency. I made like a mood board for model poses, because when I start posting photos, I want all my models to honestly to like be consistently looking similar, and also be posing similar ways. So it just looks very like fluid on my page and attractive, and like, oh, like, I want people to be able to envision themselves maybe wearing my products in real life, like the kind of photos I was looking at, like it's just them like living their life. So these models will be like listening to their AirPods or something, or just like tying their shoe, like just very candid photos, like all these like little details is like I'm nailing them all down,
Okay. Yeah. I want to see those mood boards.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, next time, show me for sure. I just want to backtrack real quick, because something you mentioned at the very beginning was you just got to do it. And I think we've talked about that before, where, don't overthink. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think it was on our perfectionism episode where we just talked about putting something out, even if it's not great, even if it's not perfect. And when you were talking about doing that with your designs, it reminded me of how that's shown up in my life. And I just want to give the listeners another example of how that can show up. So for me, on the music side of things, what that looked like was, for several years, every Monday, I would post a cover to YouTube, no matter what. Like I held myself to that schedule for at least 5 years. And it was really cool because when I first started, like I wasn't the best vocalist and I'm still not the best vocalist, but you know what? Holding myself to that helped me improve over the years. And it's really, really cool to be able to look back and see that progress over those 5 years, because every Monday I showed up, I did the work, I uploaded it, I edited, I put it up there, even if I wasn't like 100% happy with it, even if I made some mistakes or my voice cracked or I was flat or I was, a little too sharp somewhere, I would still upload it. I was like, you know what, whatever. I tried, I did it, it's done. I'll try again next week. Maybe I can do better next time. And just that consistency, I 100% agree with you. It really does help. And over time, you'll start to figure out what works, what doesn't work. You'll figure out what your sound is, what your look is, what you like, what you don't like. And over time, it just kind of gradually, naturally comes together.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I really feel that's why, yeah, it's just important to just like Nike, just do it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But I will say the downside to that for me personally, and I don't know if you can relate, is sticking to something once you've found something that works for you, because I get so tired of something. Like I'll get tired of something really quick. I'll get bored of it and I'll be like, oh, I need to find something new. I need to mix it up. I need something fresh. I need to keep this exciting. I need to keep this interesting. And that makes it really hard for me to kind of nail down a certain look, a certain sound, a brand, if you may. We're not going to get into all that right now, but it does make that really difficult for me. Do you have
Yeah.
It sounds like maybe you used to struggle with that, but now you're kind of like on the other side of things where you've kind of figured it out a little bit.
Yeah. So I definitely would get bored easy, especially when I was like trying different things with serendipity. I was always kind of just moving on to the next thing. But what I did was because the idea, my design idea I have, because I have a niche idea that will be part of my athletic wear brand. And that's like how I'm going to start it. I've been sitting on this idea since I want to say like May. And I purposefully sat on it for a long time, because now flash forward it's October now. Because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get sick of this idea. So like I've been talking about it with my friends and family. I've been sketching it. I've been envisioning it. And now I'm starting to build a brand around it. And this has been going on for months. And I feel pretty confident that I won't get sick of it, which is actually pretty amazing, because normally that's very true. Like I will get sick of stuff. And it's funny, my business mentor, shout out Melissa Jorstad. She's going to be a guest on here at some point, but she's been one of the most supportive people along my business journey. And she is very worried for me, I feel like, because she knows me and she knows how I get bored of stuff and move on quickly. So every time I talk to her about my athletic wear brand, she's like, okay, but like you have to stick with it. She's like, you have to stick to it for like at least like more than 5 years. If you want to see any traction, stick to it. And I'm like, yes, I really will. I promise. I'm like, I swear.
You're like, but do I?
But do I? Because so yeah, when I first came to Melissa about like pulling out of serendipity, she was like kind of against it. She's like, no, but like you got to stick with it. You've been doing it for 3 years or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, but like, I'm done with it. She was like, no. But
sometimes something just runs its course and you can feel that it has died inside of you and you just gotta let it go.
Yeah, which we talked about. Like, that's how you feel about, Frantic Endeavor. And I remember I also talked to, oh my God, what's her Carrie, duh. And Carrie gave me some advice. She's a pretty successful influencer herself, and she said that she was part of, I think she was like part of a band or something, and she had to like let go of it because she just felt like she grew out of it.
Yeah, and that happens.
So,
and like again, it's not that something tragic or bad or terrible has to happen for you to feel that way about something. Like sometimes it's literally just been enough time. Like I know I'm just repeating myself at this point, but sometimes the passion just runs out, and sometimes it's just as simple as that.
Yeah. All right, I think that's good. I think we got a solid.
I love that. We got a little bit of foreshadowing in there too.
Yeah.
Some potential interviews in the future.
Yes, I love that. I like that I said that. I know. So also, should I stop recording or should I have like an outro that I say?
Dude, we gotta figure out a freaking outro for these episodes.
I know. And that's all. Thank you for
bye.
being. That's it. Bye. Can we just do that? That's it. Bye.
Sure.
That's it. Bye. Bye. Okay, bye.
That's it for today's episode of Talk Girlie to Me. If you vibed with it, send it to a friend, rate us 5 stars, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.